Okay, hello everyone. This is going to be the first video I do here for the Lotto Accelerator channel. This first one is going to be a beginner level lesson, number 1 here. This is going to be basically a look at Excel. This is geared more for someone who maybe doesn't know what Excel does or has very little experience with it. I'm going to show you the basics of what the program does, go over some of the information that you the lingo you need to know to be able to work inside Excel, and we'll get it started and we'll actually build our first little spreadsheet. So let's get started. Okay, so this is an Excel window open. This is Excel 2010. This whole thing, one spreadsheet loaded in here, is considered a workbook. Within that workbook, you'll see a tab down here for each sheet. So each workbook contains many different sheets, which are called worksheets. Worksheet 1, Worksheet 2, Worksheet 3. Okay, inside of a worksheet, let me expand this here. Across the top are columns, and down the side here are rows. These individual boxes within Excel are called cells. And to reference a cell, let's pick one here. It's in column C and it's in row 2. So this particular cell would be referred to as C2. And you can see that when I have this cell selected, that up here in the name box, C2 comes up because that is what the current name of that cell is. So if we have a selection that includes two or more cells, that's considered a range. And as I hold down on my left mouse button and drag my cursor, it starts to select more and more cells into our selected range. And if you notice the name box up here in the upper left, it's telling me how many rows, how many columns I have selected. Okay, so quick review. The whole spreadsheet is a workbook. Inside the workbook will be worksheets, and we can add some, delete some, have a bunch of different sheets in one spreadsheet if we wanted to, or one workbook. Within the worksheet are cells, which are grouped by columns and rows. So that is the initial kind of basics to get your way around Excel. What can the program do? Well, let's make our first spreadsheet here, and here's the concept. Let's say we want to keep track of how much we spend and how much we make each day playing the lotto, and we want to keep track of our profit and loss. Well, we're going to do this for 1 week, and I'll show you how easy it is to do something quick like this. So we're going to start off with the A column, and this is going to be the day of the week, and we're going to do this for an entire week. So A1, we'll type Monday in there and enter, and we'll just go on down the line. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Whoops. Okay, notice that Wednesday is actually, the word is a little wider than the cell. Well, it's quick and easy to resize a cell by columns or rows. Go here between the A and the B column. You notice that your cursor turns into a symbol that looks like that. Click down on left mouse button and drag. As you can see, we can make this cell as wide as we want by resizing column A. But it looks like that will be plenty wide. Now, these other columns, we're going to have a column for how much we spent that day and how much we made that day. And then I'll show you how to use some math functions to sum that information. Well, I need to move these days of the week down to give me rows, a free row up here to put my column headers. So what you do is left click, drag our range here. So now I have a selection of cells A1 through cells A7. I'm just going to come here on the bottom, see my cursor turns into a 4-way directional arrow. Left click, and now I can drag that range wherever I want it. For our purposes, we're going to start it here, say at cell A3. Okay, now what am I going to have in the columns here? What we're basically forming is a little table here. So the first column we're going to be interested in is how much did I spend each day. So we'll call this column bet. This column is going to be how much we won that day. And I think we want to center these, so select them by clicking and dragging the Home tab. And this little icon here, these are for text formatting or alignment. This one is center. So when I click that, it centers the things in all those cells that we have highlighted. I can also right justify, left justify, but for our purposes, we'll center it. Now, when you first open Excel, the general format for each of these cells is just that. It's called general. So you can put numbers in here, you can type text in here, whatever. But we are going to be putting a dollar figure in both of these columns here. So we want to format these cells to accept and display currency. So what we're going to do is select that range. So now I've got all these columns selected. Come in here somewhere and go right click, and we're going to choose the option Format Cells. As you can see, it default to General. Excel defaults to General. When we look down here, what do we want to format to? Currency. Okay, and you can see it gives you some more options. How many decimal places do you want? Well, the standard is 2 for how many cents we have on the right side of the decimal point. So the symbol is dollar. You can choose different signals for different currencies around the world. We're going to leave it at dollar. And then this says, how do you handle negative numbers? There's some different ways to do it. You can just have a negative put in front of it like this. You can not put the negative symbol in front of it and have it just show up red, or it can be in parentheses black or red. We'll leave it this way here. Okay, so we like this. Hit OK. And now if I put a value in here, it'll say $12.34. You see it converts it to currency. So let's fill this in. Let's say Monday we spent $10 on the Lotto, and let's say we won $2 back. On Tuesday, let's say we spent $15 and we only got $7 back that day. Wednesday, we put $10 on the Lotto again. We had a good day. We made a profit. We got $15 back, and so forth and so on. Well, $5, $3, $20, and we got back, say, $5 that day, and we spent $12 that day, and we had a good day. We won $20. We only bet $5 on Sunday, and we got back, we'll say $10. Okay, so now we have our table filled in. Well, that's great and somewhat useful, but how can we use Excel to make this data more useful to us? We could easily sit here and do the math in our head and then come over here and figure out what our profit or loss was. But that's what's great about Excel. It does that stuff automatically for us. So let's make another column over here, and let's say profit. Let's also center that column header. Now we're going to put in this cell here what we call a formula. And what that formula is going to do is to automatically calculate for us the profit for Monday. Well, how would we do that? Well, profit is simply how much you won, subtract from that how much you bet. So in this day, we bet $10, we only won $2. Our profit is actually going to be a negative number because we lost money. We lost $8. So to make this work, we also want to format these just like we did our other range here. We want to get this set up for currency. Now, to enter a formula, the first thing we enter is an equal sign. And we're going to basically write an equation for Excel so it knows what to automatically calculate for us. Now we could say we want cell C3 minus cell B3, and we could type that in here. C3 minus B3. Hit enter. Notice that when you start to put cell references in your equation, that it highlights them here. C3 is blue. It puts a blue box around it, and that'll help later on when we're our formulas become much more complex. Anyway, so that's what we want. We hit enter, and there it is. It shows up that we lost $8 that day. Now, I could go ahead and put that for each one of these and do it that way, but there's an easier way. Select this and see this little square down here in the bottom right corner of that cell. When I position my cursor over it, it changes to that thin plus symbol. We're going to left click and drag it down so it basically copies that formula down, and the cell references change each time. So when it copies that formula down to this cell, that cell is now doing the math for Tuesday, this one for Wednesday, and vice versa. So we can see, let's check one here. Friday we spent $20, we only won $5, so it's a profit of minus 15. Okay, great, but how did we do for the whole week? What if I wanted to total this column so I know how much I bet for the week, total this column so I know how much I won for the week, and total this one so I know what my final profit or loss was for the week? Well, it's easy. We're going to do another function. This one is going to be called sum. So equal sign again, type in sum, and left parentheses. Now I could put each cell that I want to sum here separated by commas. I could say B3, C3, B4, B5, and so forth. Or we can just put a range in there. The way Excel handles ranges is if I say B3 colon to B9, B3 through B9, and see that it highlights a box around that range. So there's one way to do it. Close it off with the right parentheses, hit enter, and there's our subtotal for this column. Another way we can do this, I'll show you. Of course, I could grab the 77, this cell B10, and I could copy this stuff across by dragging it too. But I want to show you another way of entering our sum function. So here we're going to say sum and put my left parentheses. Now I'm just going to go ahead and highlight the range that I want to sum. As I do that, Excel automatically puts it in here for me. I close up my right parentheses, enter, and there it is. Go ahead and drag this over. Okay, and sometimes it's nice to make stuff a little easier to read by, we're just going to put some outside borders on it. So here we go. So for the week, I spent a total of $77, and I won a total of $62 for those 7 days, and my profit for the week was minus $15, or a $15 loss. And we can, of course, look up here and see each day what our profit loss was. This is, of course, very basic Excel spreadsheet. However, this will get you used to working with cells, ranges, and entering functions. And we will expand upon this concept and learn how to do lots more manipulations with not only currency figures but with lottery combinations. We'll learn how to create statistics that we can look at in easily visualize to use this in selecting numbers. Thanks for watching. Again, this is a beginner level video 1, and I'll be doing a advanced and expert videos soon and uploading them to YouTube. So keep watching, subscribe. You'll know right away when I upload a new video. I'm going to try to do as many as I can. And thanks for watching again.